Okay. Let's see where we're at here. All right. How does it sound? All right, everybody. Hello. I'm just getting my links posted here. All right, give me a few seconds and I will get going here. Hope everybody's having a great night. There's so many things to post. Here we go. Whoops. Darn. Twitter is not my favorite thing anymore. It's kind of the worst. All right, 2 more places. All right, almost there. I need to figure out some lighting because I look real pale in here right now. All right. Okay. Let's get back to it here. All right, MBT Shannon, thank you. I'm glad you're excited. I am also very excited. It's going to be very cool. All right. Okay, folks, let me just grab one more thing over here. I say one more thing, but it's a lot more things. All right. Okay. Well, so today we are celebrating the release of the Schlub. The Schlub #1 is coming out tomorrow from Image Comics. August 23rd, Wednesday, August 23rd is our release date. That is tomorrow, and I am very excited. It has been a dream of mine to have a book at Image since I was 10 years old, 12 years old, whenever it was. I bought this comic right here. I started reading comics maybe a few years before Wildcats came out because I was reading X-Men that Jim Lee was drawing and all the X books and everything that all those guys were doing. And so when they announced that they were starting their own company, I was a kid that was beyond excited. And then to see what they had going on had me so pumped. And so this is the exact copy I bought too. I bought this in 1992 in a comic book store located in East Dundee, Illinois, which is where I spent a good chunk of my younger years. And I can't remember the store or the woman's name who ran it, but it was run by a woman a chain smoker woman who was very cool, rough voice. And we made sure that she got us all the new Image books. And so my brothers and I each bought a different Image book. And I wanted Wildcats because I love the Jim Lee. So I bought this exact copy right here, and look at that. I've kept it in pretty good shape, have I not? Look at that. And all I've done is throw it in here whenever I'm not reading it. I like to read my comics, but I keep them in plastic because then I can read them longer and they look a little bit better. This book was a huge influence on me. Jim Lee was a huge influence, but Wildcats. Oh, hey, Ick, good to see you, pal. But Wildcats in particular was a big one for me. Jim Lee was at the top of his game, and then to see what they were starting to do with some of the coloring when Image started out was a very exciting time. This drives me nuts, though. These little trading cards, I don't know if I was supposed to cut them out, but they're still in there, and they just make you flip right to the middle of the book every time. Here's the Deadpool knockoff Pike. But man, oh man, it is such a cool comic. And I've looked at this 100 times, 100 million times probably. I've traced a bunch of these drawings. I've copied a bunch of these drawings when I was a kid. I mean, who doesn't love that, right? I mean, come on. Really great stuff. So I was looking through this earlier, and oh man, that's a cool Cyberforce ad too. And there's a lot of cool things they did in this. And one thing I was realizing was how similar this first issue is to the Schlub. It ends on a cliffhanger, as a lot of first issues do. Introduces you to the world, has lots of cool splash pages and double page spread type things. Get to see a little bit of everybody in action. It's got a lot of action in it, which is great. Man, that Wet Works ad is cool too. So, I pulled this out just to look at it, and that's when I realized this came out in August of 1992. So I was kind of like, I know it's a silly thing, but I was kind of stoked that it came out, the same month that my book's going to be coming out. And I say my book. It is not 100% my book. The Schlub is Ryan Stegman and Kenny Porter and me and Mike Spicer and John J. Hill's book. And in particular, it's Ryan's book because he created it. So tonight, I'm not going to do any drawing. Just wanted to show off a few cool things. And get excited for the book coming out tomorrow. I've got a long day tomorrow, so I'm probably going to get some rest tonight. Going to be doing a signing at Challengers Comics and Conversation tomorrow. And I will have a bunch of my other work here with me too, not just the Schlub. So I will have my mini comics like IDKFA and Game Over Man and Weed Priest and Ascend and all that will be available at the show. At the signing. So I hope anybody in the Chicagoland area can swing by and say hi. And then I have another signing on Saturday in Bettendorf, Iowa at In This Issue Comics. So yeah, the Schlub, here, let's do a little side-by-side here. The Schlub, #1, written by Ryan Stegman, Kenny Porter, art by me, Tyrell Cannon, colors by Mike Spicer, design and letters by John J. Hill. What a great team to work with. Couldn't be happier to be working with these guys. Yes, Wildcats was very fun. It's one of the funnest. So tomorrow you guys will be able to see all this. Of course, not going to show you everything because that would spoil a lot of it. But what I wanted to do first was show everybody the different covers that are coming out that we have, and maybe give you a little peek inside. And then I have another special treat towards the end of the stream tonight. But I won't keep you too long. Yes, I am also a collector. I'm a weird collector, Shannon. I'm kind of I follow artists more than anything. So actually, my long boxes are organized by artist. So I mean, there's a few separations from that. Like I have a lot of Punisher comics, so those are in series order. But anything outside of like my Punisher and my X-Men stuff is all organized by artist alphabetically. Because that tends to be, and it's funny because what I'll have little chunks of runs where different artists worked on it instead of having a full run of whatever series it is. But yes, I have quite a few. I've got, what do I got now? 6 long boxes. And then back here, you can't see it right now, but I have a whole shelf of graphic novels and hardcovers and art books and artist editions and all that. So yeah. You know what? I would like to think the same thing there, Ichthus, that I will get the chance to do my own book at Image. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can continue having a good relationship. They've been nice to me so far. So this is the Schlub #1. This is the standard cover. I drew this cover probably, I don't know, after I'd already done a couple issues. And so that was kind of nice because I finally had a better sense of the characters and how I wanted to draw them. And I wanted to evoke a little bit of that Hulk, Incredible Hulk vibe. But at the same time, I didn't want it to be just that. I wanted to emphasize, the world is falling apart, and these are the two guys responsible for protecting it or whatever. And play up the humor, but also that it's a book with stakes, and there's different kinds of emotions. It's not a har goofy, yuck, kind of a book. It's not Mad Magazine or anything like that. It's definitely a story that, humor is an aspect, but there's more going on than that. So I was really happy with how that turned out, and I actually love what John did on the backs of the covers. And this is a motif we'll continue through the series, but he took different moments from the book and pasted them in and sort of tied it into the costume design for Sirius's chest plate that he has. So John did some really nice work on the design on this. I love the placement of the number 1 here in the middle. We did have to change that on one of the covers. And a lot of people have seen the previews, but here's the first few pages. Mike Spicer, just incredible colorist. John somehow finding space for the word balloons. I don't leave a lot of room because we're working Marvel style, and so I don't know exactly what's going to go where as far as word balloons. They sort of go in afterwards and do that. But yeah, Mike really adds these poppy colors. That's one of the things I love about his work. But when I started working with him, I specifically was talking about the stuff he did on Beta Ray Bill and Do a Powerbomb with Dan. I think on those 2 books, he really tried some more crazy color shifts, but they work really well, especially right here, this blue, and then how that ties into his gloves, and that carries you through these 4 panels here. And then he has this really beautiful kind of purpley orange background on there to kind of emphasize that that's a moment, and then that ties it right up to this panel on the next page. I mean, Mike's attention to kind of the narrative aspect of the work is always the other thing I've loved about what he does, is that he doesn't just choose natural colors and paint them on there, but he seems to be thinking a lot about how things flow. So this is our first 2-page spread. This was the first time I drew Sirius and Worm on the page, and I really wanted to go all out. So don't forget to like the stream chat. I'm not sure what that means. Here, is that it? Did I do it? Or is that, I don't know. I don't know how this works, man. Let's see. Anyway, I'll do what I can, man. Anyway, I'm looking through the schlub here. So I'm going to go one past what they show you on the Image website. So we got 2 more great pages here, if I do say so myself. The fight continues, and I'm not going to read everything to you, but you can see we still have this old woman in the chair the whole time this insane fight is going on. And here we go. Here we're off to the races. Lots of action in this comic. So that's all I'm going to show you for now, but I am going to show you, here's Kill Your Darlings. This book is awesome. Ethan and Griffin and Bob Quinn have really done an awesome job on this. So I recommend checking that out as well. And then I wanted to show, you can pre-order Schlub number 2, and I think number 3 might be up for pre-order soon. So if you haven't added to your poll already, go ahead and do that. I'm going to show a little more of that later. But we have these 2 covers, one by me and one by Mr. Stegman. So that's the standard cover. Here's the Ashcan edition. This was sent to retailers, and no one else. I mean, me and the guys. So if you wanted to get them, you got to get them from a retailer or someone who got their hands on one, or from me. Now, I ordered quite a few of these because this is just a black and white version of the book. So you can really see my line work, which hopefully people will dig, being able to check this out in black and white. And if you're a colorist out there, like I know some of you are, you might want to, try to color some of this. That'd be cool. But yeah, this Ashcan edition, I got quite a few of these because I'd really love to move a lot of these. A lot of these I'm going to put up on my web store once the book is out and I'm done with the signings, just because I need to make sure I have enough through there, and then there will be some up on the store. At least one of everything, I think. yeah, so absolutely like this. Mike Spicer's colors, definitely. Yes, I agree with all that. And then Shannon, so that was the distribution for the ash can. I think retailers got maybe one or between 1 and 5, not a ton. And then me and the guys all got a handful. So I mean, I don't know how many that is in existence. I would guess the print run is under a couple thousand, but I don't have that exact number. But I will have those for sale. Those I'll definitely have up on the website. I won't run out of those at the signings. Here's our Virgin variants. So most of these variants, some of them are orderable, but a lot of them are quantity incentives. So some of these, the stores had to order a lot to get any. So the print runs go way, way down with each one of these covers, and they are much, much rarer. And a couple of them I didn't realize how rare until I saw the package come from Image. Yes, definitely. Okay, guys. Okay, so this is the Virgin variant, and these are really cool because it's just the cover without the logo treatment. And what's neat about this is that John is really cool and smart about using some motifs to tie the different books together, especially the KLC books. But one of the tricks he uses is sort of a gradient over the top here. And one thing I really loved about the original Image on this was Mike, again, gave it this purpley pink, which I tend to really love when I color my own stuff too. And Mike used it here, and it really makes these two pop. And it also puts the chaos on a separate plane, so it gives you a solid background, nice mid-ground with the more muted tones, and then pops back in with the other side of the color spectrum here. So these Virgin variants are very cool. I got a few of those, not a ton, but I did get a few of those. And then, oh man, look at this! You can't even see it probably. It's probably terrible on the screen because of my light. But this is the foil variant of issue 1 cover. In real life, it looks pretty rad. It's kind of hard to capture on camera here, but yeah, I mean, how cool is that? If you grew up in the '90s buying comics, then like this is what it was all about, man. These goofy gimmicks, and they're so cool. And it is a goofy gimmick, but dang, it looks cool. It like blinds you. So if you get one of these are pretty rare. The variant foils. Especially the ones I'm going to show you next, because Stegman's cover's all printed at a lower threshold than mine. And so you get into his variants and they're a lot more rare. So here's Stegman's cover B. This was an orderable cover. You can see Stegman. Yeah, you can't see the foil very well. This is Stegman's cover. Hey man, Stegman doing Stegman, right? I mean, who draws an upshot better than Stegman? Now we did have to move the number 1 from the center to the, it's usually on the center here, to the middle, or to the side, because it would have been right over Roger's junk here. So Stegman does, he had drawn, the only piece of art I saw from him when I started the book was one tiny sketch of Roger's head. And it didn't look quite like this. It was a lot more football shaped. But it was very similar to this, I guess. I mean, the way Stegman draws him is very close to that. But he does more of a fuzzy mustache, whereas mine's very smooth and more, cartooned, I guess. And then he doesn't make them quite as short as me. But that's an awesome drawing. And then to have Cirrus cutting across the logo here and landing on the KLC, like that's the kind of thing you can tell Stegman's been doing it as long as he has, because he just he knew what the first cover layout was going to be, because honestly mine was done way before he did his, and so he took all that into account, and that's next level. He's not just thinking about how to make a cool drawing, but he's like, okay, how's this going to work with the trade dress? He's very smart. Really cool cover. So that's that, and then here's the Virgin variant of that, and again, Spicer did an awesome job on this sky. I'm not sure if he did some photo manipulation there or brushes or what, but it looks really fantastic. So it's cool to see it without the trade dress. And then this is it's going to just kill you again, but this is the foil of Ryan's. These are extremely rare. I think they're like 1 in 300 or something like that. And I got a few. We'll see if I can hang on to some of those. And then we did two well, there's actually one other one that I only have one copy of, so I don't know if I'm even going to show it, but there's a black and white variant of Stegman's cover. And I don't think any shops are even getting that. I don't remember. I didn't even know that existed until it showed up in my box, and I have not had a chance to ask Ryan yet about what's the deal with that one. But I think they were going to sell it through the KLC store, but don't quote me on that. All right. Yeah, process of elimination there. This you can tell who I was mentioning when I was talking about colors. So this is the In This Issue Comics variant cover that I did for In This Issue Comics in Bettendorf, Iowa. This was a lot of fun. Here's their logo, which actually I drew the In This Issue Comics logo. Justin, my friend Justin, runs that shop, and it's a really cool shop. They just got a new location, which I haven't seen yet. And he's a longtime friend and fan and supporter. And when he wanted to do a variant for his store, I said, absolutely, you know. And him and I bonded. I met him at my old job. He was actually an employee of mine for a while. A really good employee, too. And I was happy when he left because I was like, okay, now we can just be friends, you know, not have to be work or people. Anyway, we bonded over action movies, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger. Me and Justin are big Arnie fans. And I told him that I had this concept to do a Schlub cover that was based on the Twins poster. And so I might have mentioned this on another stream, but this is my homage to the Twins poster of Arnold and Danny DeVito. Obviously, the proportions are blown out even further on this, but, you know, I was like, I wanted to do this cover for issue 1, but me and Ryan and Kenny agreed, okay, maybe we should do something that's just a little more action-y, because we didn't want people to think it was just a funny book, because it's not. And so we went with what we went with. But this one makes me smile, and it was like the first cover I thought of for the book. I think it was like when I was thinking of cover concepts, I immediately thought of this Twins poster. Seeing that movie in the theater was a really early memory for me. So that's that one, and this is the one I'll be signing at the shop. And I'm glad because the ones I got, Image did a great job shipping, but a couple of the ones I got had a couple creases on them. So I'll probably sell some of these variants a little bit cheaper if they have a slight, you know, it's a printing damage. I think, I don't even know if it is Image's shipping that did it, but I was kind of bummed. Most of them look fine though. So. And then this one, I didn't even know was happening, but this is Comic Book News and Speculation. I think their website, they did this variant cover here, and it is by well, that's unfortunate. I don't see the name on here. I don't know who did it. Sorry. Brian Silverbacks. So, pretty cool. I like the sort of duality. I like that he used complementary colors. That's pretty neat. I think Roger looks a little like a serial killer here, but that's kind of fun. I mean, he's like an evil dentist is what it looks like. And I like the way he incorporated the teeth in. That was pretty neat too. So I got a couple of these too. These are pretty neat. So I guess if you want to get that, you can hit up Comic Book News and Speculation. I don't think shops get these. I could be wrong, unless they're the ones who ordered it. So yeah, man, so excited. I mean, how cool is all that? You know, when I got this in the mail, you know, shoot, man, it's a lot of emotions, right? This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and it took me a long time to get to the point where I quit my job to do this full time, and then it's taken me quite a few years to get something published a place that like this. And so, yeah, man, very cool, and I really believe in the book too. I think it's a really great book, and it's a project I'm happy to be involved with, because one of the things that's probably slowed me down over the years is I don't like to work on stuff that I don't believe in and think is good. And so, you know, with the Schlub, it's cool and all that it's published, and I'm working with Stegman and all those guys, but like I think it's a really cool comic too, and I really do hope people pick it up, and I would love everybody who picks it up and enjoys it, which I think will be most of you folks who get it. I hope that you will tell some more people about it. We'd love to keep building the audience and make it bigger, and hopefully keep the book going for a while. If not, you know, I guess we'll move on to something else, but I would really like to do some more Schlub. Let's check in with the chat here. Yeah, do a coloring stream, man. I'd love to see that. Yes, you will have to hunt down the covers. Like I said, I will have some of them for sale on my website, and anyone who subscribes to my newsletter already knows, but I will announce all my new product drops and everything usually, not usually, always on the newsletter first, and to patrons on my Patreon first. So if you want to be sure you know when they drop, sign up for that newsletter. So I actually have a newsletter coming out tomorrow with some big announcements in it, and then I'll probably do another one shortly after to announce when these things are added to the store. So there's a lot of covers there, man. I'm just going to move these. All right. So really quick, I want to show you guys something I got just this week. Okay. So check this out. Oh boy. This is the Michael Golden Artist Edition Marvel Stories that just came out. And we'll see if I can even look at this on here. Okay. You're not going to see my feminine peek behind here. This thing is awesome. This is the coolest thing. If anybody doesn't know who Michael Golden is, run right now and buy some Michael Golden comics. He is an icon, and he is one of my all-time favorite artists. And it's funny, I went to pick this up, and I was talking to Patrick at Challengers, and he was saying how this artist edition was like the most ordered artist edition they've ever gotten, you know? Because stores probably don't, you know, I don't know how many artist editions they normally order just to have on a shelf because it is a high-ticket item. But this is cool. It's got a lot of his Nam stuff in it. It's got Doctor Strange stuff. It's got tons of covers. It's got fold-outs. This is a fold-out right here, which I'm not going to fold out. Oh man, it's got a bunch of his Punisher covers. They are so cool. Look at that, man. This one always gets me. Just the posture, these kind of run down, the directionality of these poles. So good, man. So good. Yes, this does look excellent. You are correct. There is a few pieces in here that I've just been staring at for the last 3 or 4 days, or however long I've had this a week. This Wolverine up here is amazing. One of the coolest things it has, speaking of Wolverine, oh my God, let me find a couple more here to show you guys. Look at this Wolverine, Sabretooth, this rat. I can't really show you, but this Punisher piece is it's insane. It's insane. He drew the grill, he drew the Bonneville logo, he's got all this stuff, the chain links. It's insane. I highly, highly recommend this. Out of all the artist editions I've gotten, this is one of the coolest, if not the coolest. Now, I don't have as many as I would like to have, but I think I've got a respectable grouping. And this is hands down one of the coolest because it has the hits. It's got all the best stuff. This Spider-Man story in here is incredible. It's incredible. Like, it looks, I don't even know, man. Some of this stuff is just, he's a big influence on me right now. I'll just say that. But these Spider-Man pages are insane. They've got these zip tone patterns. Look at this. Solid blacks everywhere. Oh boy. Oh boy. So cool. But anyway, let me show you, what was I going to show you guys? Oh, it has this Wolverine story in it that is in an X-Men Holiday Special, and I didn't even know about it. I found out about it from Aaron Conley, actually. And boy, oh boy, this is an all-silent Wolverine story written by Larry Hama and drawn by Michael Golden. You guys have got to check this out. If you can track down the X-Men Holiday Special that's in there, and to see it all here in black and white is pretty great. And then it has a whole Nam story. You know, look at just drawn helicopters, no big deal. Anyway, that's Michael Golden Artist Edition. Let me just close that up. Well, maybe I'll close it up. I did the same thing at the store in front of Patrick. He's like, "Hold up, let me help you." I was like, "I'm doing that. I know what I'm doing, man." All right, let's put this over here. Okay. So, a couple more things. comics are a crazy world of you got to order things in advance, and all the stores are ordering them, and then you buy them from the store. It's like buying drugs. It's not always ideal. Um, but one thing that I feel like I hear happens a lot with comics is that they'll sell a lot of the first issue, and then there'll be a drop off in numbers. And of course, that's because a lot of people will try it and be like, "Oh, this isn't really for me," and that's totally fine. But I think a lot of people that ordered this book, I know are already going to like it, and I really feel that there's going to be room for us to get more folks on board. So if you do dig it, it really would mean a lot if you tell other people, and so we can keep building our audience. Because yeah, I think that the first issue is great, but the places we go are even crazier. And so to show you some of that, I wanted to show, it's great when the first issue comes out too, because there's all these previews out there in the world, and people are like, you get to see the first some pages and blah blah blah, and then after that they're just like listed with like covers, and you don't really get to see what's going on the inside. And so I wanted to go ahead and just show off a few of the pages from the second issue. So you guys are, don't worry, it's not gonna spoil anything or anything like that. And I'm going to show you what the second issue looks like, so you can get a sense of where we're going, because I'm really proud of what we're doing here. So here's the cover for issue 2, which has been solicited, and you've probably seen it in color, but this is the original art of it. This was a really fun one, and it felt like I had some really cool epiphanies of different ways to work, and found a good Zen moment that led to some changes. So I really love this piece. And I think the other thing I love about it is that it shows you the book has a little bit of a darker side to it as well. You can tell that this guy is not messing around. He's not joking around. He's here to fuck some shit up. So this is Worm, and this is the cover to issue 2. And then Ryan has a cover that's very opposite of this, which I think is really cool, because the book has these different moments of humor and peril and all these different things. So it was really cool to see Ryan's kind of take up the more funny side of this issue. So here's page 1 of issue 2. And one reason I know this won't be spoiled for anybody is because the art has changed a little bit. Other than just being colored, the word balloons will be on there and everything. And other than all that, I had some confusion right here. As you can see, there's a big blank spot right there. And I was thinking that we were going to have credits right there, not realizing we were always going to run them on the inside front cover. Because I started this before John had done any, design work. I was already like 2 or 3 issues deep when he started doing some of that stuff. And so I had to fix that problem. So when you see the issue in print, you can see, how I fixed that problem. But as you can see, we got, it's revealed in the preview that they switch bodies. So now this is Cirrus. We've got Cirrus in here, and he's exploring maybe a dark cavern, and maybe a subway of some kind. Maybe I won't give away too much. And then he is teleported to a different place. And so this is a splash page in issue 2 right here. Check into the chat here really quick. Shannon, yes, the original art pages will be for sale on my website. And if you want to know exactly when they're going to drop, sign up for the newsletter. And I would say maybe sign up for it as soon as possible, because I will be announcing the art drops via the newsletter first. So usually those people get first picks on commissions, original art drops, products. And then if there's things left, like if a list doesn't full, if the artwork doesn't sell, then I move on to posting about it, on social media to however many people see it there. So yes, if you are interested in the original art, it will be for sale, and it will be on my website, and you will find out about it via the newsletter first. So if you go to tyrellcannon.com right now, you can sign up for the newsletter. So here we're transported to some type of library in some other place that does not quite look like planet Earth or our dimension. So I won't even get into who all these people are and where this is, because that is a lot of the fun of it. But boy, oh boy, this one was a challenge to draw. I was working on this one for a while. Boy, oh boy. But I'm pretty happy with a lot of the stuff that I did on here. This isn't spoiling anything, but these guys here, if you can't tell, I was looking at a lot of Jack Kirby. especially some of the Fourth World stuff. So that was a big influence. That was a big influence across the board, honestly, but especially on this part here. And here's page 3. Sirius is adjusting to his new body. And we get a little bit of a flashback here. Meet a new character. As you can see, issue 2, I've already showed you, in 3 pages, I've introduced a new place, or we've introduced a new place and new characters. More than one new character. And that's kind of how every issue goes. We're just building on it and building on it. Thanks for signing up, Shannon. I appreciate that. And then I'll do 4 pages for you guys. Here's page 4. So we see what Roger is up to in his new body. And as as the series goes on, you see what it is that Roger can and can't do, now that he is in the body of a superhero. This page was pretty challenging to do, even though it's not a big action page. Anytime you have to draw water, it's kind of fun, but also kind of tricky. And then putting a boat in the water is kind of like nightmare fuel for a lot of artists, myself included. It's always hard to get him to kind of sit right. Hey, there's Don. How's it going, buddy? And then I had to build a house, basically. So, it was one of those situations where I did use some reference for the house, but I was able to adapt it a little bit and kind of change it to make it fit the feel of the people a little bit better. So yeah, this is page 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of issue 2. If these don't pique your interest, well, you probably don't like comics, because this is, in my opinion, all the cool stuff about comics right here. So there you go. That is a little sneak peek of issue 2 of the Schlub. And earlier tonight, I was working on, actually all day today, I was working on pages of issue 6. So, and it's funny too to see, to look at what I'm doing on this is a bad example because I really love this cover, but to see some of the pages, I'm really proud of what I did there. But I think that the places we're going with the book are very, next level cool. So I'm so excited because I know what's coming, and if you're digging issue 1 and if you're digging issue 2, I think you're just gonna dig it even more as time goes on. So yeah, but I appreciate everybody who tunes into my Tuesday chats. I'm gonna try to continue to do them. I am gonna miss weeks here and there, just because of dad duty and stuff, taking care of my kid and deadlines and things like that. But I would love to know if anybody has things that they want to see on the live streams. Let me know. Make some comments, and I'll see if I can try some of those things. It's all pretty new to me, so I will try things if I can. But yeah, or if there's characters you want to see me draw, things that you want to see, and then help me spread the word about that. Don, water and boats. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you think they look good. Yes, thank you for the noticing those panel borders too. One of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately is panel borders, and not just when to use them and when not to use them, but how thick the lines can be and varying them in certain instances, or making it have a box, an open box, so you can do like a color. Or like on this page, doing more stuff where the borders don't have any gutters on them, and kind of making these little vignettes on the page where it's like, okay, this is almost like a contained thing separate from this, even though it is all still part of the same story. So you can see almost all that stuff on these first few pages, actually. So I did full bleed borders here, and then completely open border, and then whatever you want to call it, almost like an onomatopoeia border where it kind of resembles what it's representing. The closed borders, no gutters connected, and then again with the connected here, and another open top panel. So I'm glad you noticed that, man, because that's the kind of thing that, like, when you start drawing comics a lot, as I know Don does too, you kind of start you get really deep into those things. I don't know that a lot of people notice, but other artists notice. We talk to each other about it a lot. Because I would love to draw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm hoping that when I open my next commission list soon, wink wink, that somebody commissions me to do a turtle. I had one turtle drawing on my last list. It was a turtle in Cerebus, and it was really fun. And I just saw the new Turtles movie. I don't know if you guys saw that. I saw it with my daughter. It was her first movie in the theater, and she did pretty good, but I did great. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. I like that the sort of some of the things they started in Spider-Verse are kind of starting to seep into other people's stuff. I liked how this one felt a little dirtier, and how there's these scribbly colored shapes and lines drawn over the top of the 3D animation. And the way they voiced the characters and stuff, I liked that they felt like teenagers. I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Don, Comics Coffee Metal, is if you what am I trying to say here? You got to learn the rules before you can break them, right? That's the old saying in a lot of art and music and stuff, and I completely agree with that. You got to learn how to draw things, I think, in a way that is, maybe technically proficient before you start breaking the rules. So once you've done enough comics, you're ready to start messing with your panel boards, great. But a lot of times you do it too soon, or I did it too soon. Like when I was first starting out, I was trying all these nuts panel arrangements and stuff that just, the storytelling was terrible, and then I had all these crazy panel arrangements on top of that, and they were just, it was like just polishing something that didn't work, So, yeah, the colors was cool. Yeah. Hey, Pierre. Good. Things are going good. I just did a little preview of issue 2 here and showed off some of the variants. And was answering some questions. And I've got maybe another 5 or 10 minutes here, potentially, if anybody does have questions. If you don't, I will probably go and get back to work on issue 6, because I'm really starting to finally find it. I've been struggling to find some of the moments in it, but I made a breakthrough yesterday, so I was excited. Mutant Mayhem is cool. The other thing I loved about Mutant Mayhem was the way they, when Bebop and Rocksteady show up, I mean, they're part of a bigger group, but man, the way they were stylized and the vehicles were stylized and stuff, and the music, it was so cool, those are like, Bebop and Rocksteady are probably like, I like them as much as the Turtles. Like I would love to, if I was drawing Ninja Turtles, like actually drawing the book, I would want Bebop and Rocksteady in it, and I would want to have the Mousers in it. I always love those little robots, and I'd love to draw the Turtles fighting Mousers and stuff. That would be so fun. But yes. Hey Max, thanks for joining in. Pierre again, can't wait to pick up the Schlub. I can't wait for you to see it. I'll pull it back out, one of them here. Actually, I'm going to pull out that Virgin variant. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow is when the Schlub... Wow, now I have people on, now that I've finished talking about everything. Yes, I can't wait either, man. So I'm very excited about tomorrow. I'll be at Challengers Comics. I'm only there for a couple hours, but I'm hoping that folks come in over their lunch breaks. They can. If you can't, that's totally okay. Maybe you can catch me in Bettendorf, Iowa if you can't there. I was saying earlier, I will have a bunch of these items up for sale with whatever's left on my web store. So sign up for my newsletter to be the first to know when those things are going up for sale. So, Kyle variant. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would like to. I don't have that one. I should have printed it up and done a fake Kyle variant on there. That makes me laugh still every time I see it. So that would be good. So yeah, here we go. I'll show you guys a couple other things that are actually for sale right now, since some people were asking. So usually on my live streams, I do a little drawing. And so those drawings are usually put up for sale on my website. So this was a Doc Ock I did recently. That's already up for sale if somebody's interested in that. And then here's a little Weed Priest I did. I think that was last week, maybe, or 2 weeks ago, because I was out for a little bit. Oh, Max, you do have a sweet commission. Yes, that was one of my favorites. If you guys did miss anything earlier in the stream, I encourage you to go back and watch it. If you go click on any of my old live stuff after you watch this, it really helps juice the algorithm. But anyway, and then this is Oliver from Vanish. I did this a few weeks back. This one I don't think I'm going to put up for sale. I think I might give it to somebody that I know who might have a special connection to Vanish. And then, hey, you know what? I haven't showed anybody these, I don't think. Sometimes I just do drawings I don't even post. I've been working on some sort of self-portraits lately. So these are a couple of those that I did. These won't be for sale. These are just for me. But hey, might as well show them off a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely MF Doom for sure. I love MF Doom. Good stuff. Yeah, I will probably give that to Ryan Max. That's sort of the idea. This was a fun one. It was fun to do these, and actually, so if you like any of these too, once you buy one too, the other thing is that the streams are still there. So if you want to go watch the actual drawing of these, some of these I did almost the whole thing on the stream. Some of them it's just the inks, but this one was really fun. I love drawing rain and stuff. It's so cool, you know. Maybe it's cheesy to do it, but I love it. It never gets old to me. So yeah. Yeah, I know the timing is always hard with streams, Max. I read you there. It's like that's why it's so hard for me to get on every single week. I do try, but when you have work and when you have kids, even if you don't, you know, your schedules fill up. I totally get it. So no, I didn't do any drawing today because I was going to do a short stream that was mostly about the Schlub coming out, and then I got to get back to work on issue 6 because I was flowing with it, and I need to get it done because I want it to be done so that it's ready way ahead of schedule. I hate being late. So let's see if there's one other thing I can show you guys. Okay, and here, one other sneak peek I got for you guys is, you might have seen this already on the solicitation, but I want to show you all the cover to issue 3. So let's grab that. All right. We'll close out with this. So this is the cover to issue 3. It has been solicited already, I'm pretty sure. So if you go to the Image website, you can see this in full color. Mike Spicer really crushed it. And some of our final order cutoffs have changed a little bit just because we're lunar now. Our Image is with lunar now. So I think the final order cutoff for issue 2 is September 4th. And this one should probably be October 4th, I think. So yeah. It's okay that you guys are late. So this one is really fun because I got to do a big action cover, but it's also kind of funny still. And I had planned for this to be all kind of a white color back here, so that was the only instruction I really gave to Mike, was like, you know, let's keep that white. And he did a really great job coloring this one. This was the first time I was sort of getting brave with like doing some of my warping effects on a cover. For some reason I thought I couldn't. I don't know why. So I used some of that there. And then another thing I love to do, if you guys have seen some of my other stuff, is like lots of little details and fun little Easter eggs. And so I try to throw a few on everything, but on this one, I was gonna, oh, thank you guys. Thank you for the compliments there. The sci-fi stuff, yes. There's a box of crayons down here in the corner, and that's where my monogram signature is. And then here in the blocks, I have hidden my daughter's name in there. So you guys who are watching can maybe spot that before anybody else, and then tell your friends, be like, hey, did you know that he that's his kid's name there, and his name's in the crayons. But other than that, it's a bunch of just toys and stuff popping around. This one was really fun. This was a cool one. And with the covers, they give me a lot of freedom to do whatever I want, and that's been really nice. And so, this one's an example of that. I like the way Rogers is doing a flip over here with all the teddy bears around him. I don't know about other artists, but I can't draw people upside down. So if they are upside down in the panel, I have to turn the paper over and draw this way. I don't know why. I don't know if it's some sort of thing about how we see, especially people's faces and stuff. So whenever I was working on the upside down part here of him, I flipped the paper over. So, yeah. Yes, on the Easter eggs for show. Yeah, my warp is kind of my thing. I mean, it's influenced by a lot of other people, but I'd like to think that the way I do it is my way. There's a lot of other artists that do similar things all the way back to even Michael Golden, but then up through the current guys like Trad and Dan and Heron. But all those guys are kind of doing it because that's what a lot of manga artists are doing. So, Yamamoto and Itagage and all these guys, I look at their work, and that's a big influence too. So, yeah, a couple of things here. Yes, Canon Motion Blur TM, absolutely. Was he naked when I drew him first? Yeah, well, I think I might have mentioned that on you guys' show, but yeah, when I designed the characters, I designed them in the nude, and then I put their costumes over the top. I don't know. I just like to know what the whole thing about the character is, before I get into drawing them. Yes, you would probably do that too. That's great, Max. So anyway, all right. Well, if there's any final questions, y'all can let me know. If not, I'm gonna wrap up here in a minute. And again, if you could go to your shop and pick up the Schlub. I would love to see this go to second printing. I think that a lot of the people who ordered it are going to definitely show up for it, but I also think some folks are going to show up and see it and pick it up. And so I would like to get those numbers even higher. So if we can spread the word, guys, that would be awesome. I guarantee you that me and the team are going to work our butts off to make this like the coolest comic we can. And there's so many fun twists and turns ahead for everybody. So that is my pitch for the Schlub. I'll stop pitching it now. You guys are all here. I know you're going to get it, but I want you to get one other person into it. Have you guys ever thought about, like, you have friends that don't read comics? Have you ever tried to get a friend into comics? I don't know that I've done that very much, and I feel bad about that. And so I was thinking it would be nice if people could hand off this book as something to sort of maybe show people and say, hey, do you like superheroes, and do you like superhero movies? Do you like Lethal Weapon? Do you like Die Hard? Do you like body swap comedies? Well, here you go. This is all those things. If they liked Jumanji, I don't know why they wouldn't like this, or if they liked any of those other movies I mentioned, I don't know why they wouldn't like this. So, yeah, see if you can get one new person reading comics. Buy a second copy, hand it to somebody, give it to somebody. That'd be awesome. We need to get this medium to have as broad of an audience as possible so we can get the most kinds of work out there in the world as possible. So thank you for pre-ordering, Max. Yes, Ryan is the man. I thought Pierre actually was debating giving one of the posters I have. Actually, I'll sell some. I have a few posters too, giant posters of the Schlub if anybody's interested in those. But I was actually thinking about giving one of the posters to the dentist's office, but then I thought if the book comes out and somebody reads it, or if he reads it, it doesn't paint like a great picture of dentist, so I don't know. But I don't know, maybe some dentists will like it. Actually, I did have a dentist at HeroesCon talk to me and say he was excited and wanted to buy some art and was excited for the book. So, I think they can separate fantasy from reality. Let's see. Yeah, I know what you mean. They want to read Batman and Spider-Man. Well, so here's Hellboy's a good one to pitch too. But you know what though is the thing about reading Batman and Spider-Man. This is how you convince them to read an Image book instead. It doesn't even have to be my book, but any Image book. especially stuff that's current, is say, well, if you get into Batman, Spider-Man, there's so much history and all these things that have happened in his past, these alternate universe versions is so confusing and blah blah blah. It's like, if they just like Batman and Spider-Man and they're not a comic reader, the movies are probably better for them, you know. But if they want to get in on something that they could literally like start reading a book at Image that's been out for say 20 issues or even the first issue, and it's easy to get caught up and then form your own connections with these characters that aren't based on all your nostalgia for them, you know, because everybody has nostalgia for the Marvel and DC characters, even if they're not comics people. They were aware of those things through cartoons and movies and stuff. And so tell them, say, hey, don't you want to make up your own mind about something different instead of something you've seen before, you know? I mean, and there's so much backstory with Batman and Spider-Man, don't get me wrong, you know, they're cool, right? But I think it's exciting when a new book comes out and it really when I really dig it, because then I'm excited that I can follow it for however long it goes, and you can read it for years and years and feel like, oh, this is a book that I found, you know, not a book that my friend told me to buy or my dad told me to buy or culture told me to buy, but like I found this book and like it's my book, and I'm, you know, I have a bunch of books like that in my collection that like Luther Strode is one where I just started buying it and I loved it and I just couldn't stop buying it, and I became a fan and followed it from beginning to end. And that's something you can get when you pick up an Image book in most cases. I mean, Spawn might be the exception to the rule, but you pick up other Image books and you can really just dive in and not feel like you missed 100 years of history. So, are we going to have a booth at Comic-Con? I will not be at Comic-Con. Wait, didn't that already happen? I don't know which one you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about New York. I won't be at New York. Stegman, I think, will be at New York. I'm not sure if Kenny will. But I will not be in New York because they did not accept my application. How terrible is that? And but I'm hoping to do New York in the future. And then Image will probably have the book represented at New York. You know, I know they have their big banner that they made of it. Right. I agree. Zach Howard. Do I know Zach Howard? I'm pretty sure I do know Zach Howard. I think we're mutual follows, maybe. But I have not checked out their new thing. New York City Comic Con. Yeah, okay, so Pierre, I will not be there. Unfortunately. Someday I will get to New York City Comic Con. Someday. Yeah, New York City Comic Con is sort of a big deal. But I've heard they've changed some of their policies. Honestly, I've had mixed luck in the past with most shows getting in. And, you know, maybe that'll change now that I have something with Image. We'll see. Either way, I always try to make myself available at some shows every year, whether it be big shows or indie shows. So stay tuned for that. But right now I don't have anything on the calendar. So, all right, folks. Well, I am going to get back to work on issue 6 so that it is ready so far in advance for you guys, and I can just be coasting into the finish line of that first arc, and then we can maybe get cracking on some more after that. So I really appreciate everybody coming and checking it out. I appreciate everybody who pre-ordered the book. If you haven't pre-ordered it and you've been interested in what you've seen tonight, please go pick it up at the store tomorrow. Most stores should have some copies of issue 1, and if they don't, tell them you want it. Tell them to reorder it. Tell them, you know, if we need to go to a second printing. And then go ahead and put it on your pull list. And I hope you dig it. If you hate it, no hard feelings. You know, maybe you'll find something else in my catalog to connect with. But yes, I wanted to just say again, you know, thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please do. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, please do. If you haven't hit the bell, do all that jazz. And tomorrow, after everybody reads their copy of the Schlub, if you have anything nice to say about it, I would love to hear it. So let me know anywhere on social media that you find me, and anywhere that you know, on the YouTube channel. Let me know how you felt about the book and if you liked it, and what you think is going to happen next, and we can hopefully entertain you for at least the next 6 months, if not longer. So everybody have a great night, and thank you again. And oh, one more thing, I will be doing another live stream this week. I don't have the exact time yet. It will most likely be Thursday, and it will either be on YouTube or KLC or both. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you're on my newsletter and subscribe to my stuff, you'll get notified when that happens. But I'll do another one, and it will be a walkthrough of the original art of the entire first issue. So I wanted to do it after the book was out so everyone has a chance to read it and react to it. And then I will do a very spoilery flip through of the entire first issue's worth of original art and give some just comments on it. So if that's something you guys want to see, that'll probably be later this week that happens. So stay tuned for that. And if for some reason it doesn't, it'll be next Tuesday because this weekend I'll be out of town. So yes, really quick, I'll just check the chat one more time. Pierre, Dr. Doom commission, that would be great. Sign up for my mailing list, and when that commission list opens up, hop on there. Thanks, Max. Thursday with Tyrell, it might be. Thursday gym night. Well, Max, if you can't make it, that's okay. You can watch it after the fact. These are all into the live section of my YouTube page. So thank you, everybody. Rock and roll, read the Schlub, and we'll see you.